Hey guys, it's Lego Boys E3. These are my top 5 favorite cube brands. And so today I'm going to be going over some of my favorite Rubik's Cube brands, and so these are just the companies that I enjoy buying cubes from because their cubes are good, and they're just really good companies in general. And so this isn't going to be based off of just speed of their cubes, because that would just be a speed cube comparison. This is a company comparison of how I like the companies themselves. And so we can start off with the first one. This is one that I felt like I really had to include. You probably don't know what it is yet. I just felt like I had to include it because this cube was my main for so many years, and so much time I just used it, and I really like the puzzle. This is the Diane Zanchi, but Diane in particular is the company that I'm talking about. They were like a speed cubing company quite a long time ago. They're still around today, but like they don't really make cubes anymore. But their cubes back then were like revolutionary for being just so good. Like the Guhong, which I have now, is like, it was one of their first cubes, and it was just like amazing compared to anything else that was on the market at that time. And then eventually they came out with the Zanchi, which people still use today. Like I used it just a couple of years ago. It's a really awesome speed cube. I could get pretty much my normal times on this cube if I wanted to. It just feels a little bit different than a lot of the newer speed cubes. And look at that corner cutting. That's crazy for such an old cube. And they don't just have a 3x3, they also have a 2x2, which many people use still as their main. People think that the Diane 2x2 is the best cube ever, and I really have no opinion on that because I don't have one. And they've made other puzzles too. The Pyraminx was kind of a failure, and they have some weird half-branded 4x4s that no one really used. But for the most part, their 3x3s were really nice at the time, and I still do enjoy solving on them today. Next up is one that, in contrast to Diane, is known for lots of different types of cubes. This one is Shengshou. You might notice the color schemes on this cube. It's actually the only one of these cubes that I haven't restickered because it's technically not mine. This is a Shengshou Aurora. In this particular case, it's my brother's. But this one's also really good. It's kind of like a cheap speed cube, but it just has like crazy fast performance. It may not be the best made cube in the world. There's lots of like little shortcuts in their design, but it still is a really great beginner speed cube. But not just speed, that's not what I'm basing this off of. They have tons of different other products. They have everything from a 2x2 to now an 11x11, which is pretty crazy. And they all turn really, really well. Like nothing like the V-cubes. They totally changed the V-cube mechanism and made it so much better. And they're just super, super good, really fast. And they're foundation for lots of different mods that I've done, like this one. And the best thing about it, possibly, is that they're super cheap. That's what I was talking about with this cube earlier. Is like really, really cheap compared to most other cubes. Like most 5x5s, like the speed cubes these days, are like $20, $30 in between there, maybe around 20. But the Shengshou is like, you can get it for less than $10. So like their prices are just crazy low. And I just really like Shengshou for all the variety that they have in their cubes. And so that's why it is number 4 on this list. And so next up is one, this is actually not a 3x3 of course, it's because this is one of the only cubes that I have from this company, but they are a very good company and they're making lots of new cubes today. You probably know already, it's the Yushin. This is the Yushin 5x5, and this one is like my best 5x5 ever. It's my main of course, and it's like so much better than all the other ones I've had before, except when it does that. The best one that I had before this was a Shengshou, and it's so much cheaper than the Moyu one. That I just had to get this one, and it is better than anything I've ever seen. And so, not just that, but they also have a 3x3, which is, it's okay. It broke the world record a couple times back. The 5.25 was on a Yushin cube, and so they really have nice speed cubes. They've also came out with a 4x4 and a 6x6, which seem to be pretty promising. They're not the best, but with some modifications, they seem that they might be pretty good cubes, and they're pretty cheap too. They also have all sorts of different things, kind of like Shengshou does. They have like mirror blocks cubes and tons of other stuff that I haven't really mentioned, like they're 11x11. But they also have quite a bit of variety, not quite as much as a Shengshou, but they're also just really great speed cubes, and so that's why they're here on this list, because they're just so amazing. And so I'm sure you guys have narrowed down what the last 2 companies are at this point. The question is, what order will they be in? So next up we have one. This is the Weilong, so it is Moyu. So Moyu is not the best in my opinion at this point. They used to be pretty much the best speed cubing company around, but yeah, they still do make cubes really often, but they're not really getting much better. I mean, some of them people like better, but for the most part, they're just kind of staying the same. And so, yeah, they're still a pretty good company, though. They have all sorts of things like a Scube and a Pyraminx, and kind of a Megaminx, not really, though. And those are all really good. A lot of people still use those cubes. And they have tons of 3x3s. This has used to be my main for a really long time. And yeah, they're just a really good company. And they make probably the best speed cubes around. And I just realized something. This isn't my way long. This is my way long. Okay, these cubes are all so similar that it's really hard to tell them apart sometimes. And so I just got another cube from the next company confused with the way long just because all the 3x3s these days are so similar. They look exactly the same from the outside. And they even felt pretty similar too. And so this is actually my way long. This is Moyu, which is the second best company in my opinion. But next up is one that you guys have probably all guessed by this point. It is QiYi, or QiYi, or whatever you want to say. I'll just say QiYi. This is my QiYi Thunderclap, my main speed cube, of course. It's just an amazing cube. I use it for everything, and it's just really awesome. But I didn't just put them number one because their speed cube is my main. They also have tons of other stuff. Just like Moyu, they have Pyraminx and a Scube, which are better than the Moyu ones in my opinion. They're my mains, of course. They are coming out with a Megaminx pretty soon. They have kind of a weird side brand thing, and so hopefully that will be pretty good. They have tons of different 3x3s in actually multiple different kind of side brands, things like I mentioned earlier. They also have a Square One, which everyone uses nowadays because it's the only decent speed cube Square One out in the market. And they're just coming out with so many new things. They're a newer company than Moyu, kind of like Yushin, although Yushin is pretty old too. And so, yeah, I really like their cubes, and I really think that they are the best brand at this point in time. However, you guys may disagree with that, so if you do disagree, then make sure to tell me down in the comments below. Tell me what order you would put these cubing brands in, or if you think I missed one that deserves to be in here somewhere. But yeah, so here we are. We have Diane, Shengshou, Yushin, Moyu, and QiYi in this order. That is what I think are the best cube brands. And so I'm not going to really have any links in the description or anything because I really don't need to, because these are just brands and you can go check out all their cubes individually on any website you want to. But yeah, so if you like this video, you can leave a like down below to show me if you liked it. Leave some suggestions for other top 5 videos that I can make like this in the future. This one was a highly suggested one, so I decided to do it. And also you can stay subscribed to be notified when another video like this comes out. And I'll see you next time. Bye!